What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kind of Funny Gamescast for Wednesday, November 13th, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the taste maker, Roger Picorni.
11-13. I don't like 11-11. I don't like it because
You didn't like 11-11?
I don't like writing it out. I don't like writing it out because then I put 3 sets of 11s. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, that'd be cool, yeah, if it was 2011 again. 11-11-11.
shit.
We didn't know
Bring
how
me
good we
back.
had it back then. You know what I mean?
Bring us back.
Yeah,
Bring us
we
back.
should really go back.
What's fun about 11-11 is that then it's like, oh, even if you're European, the date's the same.
Oh.
Because, you know, they like to put even Canadians, sometimes it's confusing.
Is that like, is it just us that does it this way?
I think so.
Yeah. Just like inches and shit.
Yeah. What are you going to do? You know
No
what I
way
mean?
to change it.
Bend the knee. Bend the knee to America is what I say.
We just wait them out and then eventually they'll come back.
Exactly.
We'll figure it out.
It's Christmas in November, Joey Noel.
This hair tie definitely did.
I was going to say, I can tell we talked about it beforehand. You were pissed at your hair ties and they were
Yeah.
breaking and doing this. And then as I
on
went
the way to work, I stopped on the way to work to get more, and then they snapped here. So
can't
as I went to pitch it to you, I saw the anger in your
I was
eyes.
like,
Like you're still
oh.
fired up about it.
I'm just annoyed. I just would like my hair to. I spent more time on my hair than I have maybe ever coming to work today because I had to
Damn.
do it so many times.
Damn,
but it's fine.
you hate to see it, but it looks good. I wouldn't know
It
anything
doesn't-
about it.
It doesn't.
We're also
look
dudes.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, I
Where the amount of
know.
times Lanza's
It
changed
was
her hair. and
salvageable,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we'll try again next time I'm on the show.
Well, I hope this doesn't affect your review of Lego Horizon.
Oh, it doesn't affect it, but maybe
It sets the stage.
yes, it maybe sets the stage.
Ooh, I'm interested to get into this. Of course, this is the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Each and every weekday, we run you through the biggest topics in video games, whether they be reviews, previews, or just said topics, things that need to be discussed. If you like that, pick up a Kind of Funny membership on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames or patreon.com/kindoffunny. Of course, $10 gets you good karma for supporting an 11-person small business, but it also gets you all of our shows ad-free, the ability to watch the afternoon podcast live as we record them, and of course, a daily dose of me in a series we call Gregway. No bucks tossed away, no big deal. Like, subscribe, share, and of course, rate. You can get all the shows on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. You can watch live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames and youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. And of course, listen on podcast services around the globe. No matter where you get the show, thank you for your support. Remember to be part of the show as we go. YouTube Super Chat. Usually. We are not live right now. Roger.
Oh, don't break the illusion.
I have to. What? Is this live? Is this live? Is this live? Why are they reading the Super Chat? I gave $1,000 to ask if Aloy's cool, and they didn't answer.
I was thinking about it. I was like, is there a way that we can integrate super chats into this episode? Like Greg comes out.
I
with,
think
like,
we do a pop-up with them. I mean, we
we
could
stop the podcast.
it would be like one of those gambles of like we do a section that's 5 minutes of dead air here, and it's just me on the mic. Then we're like, all right, and this guy asked this. Joey, what do you think? We can pass
We have 5 minutes. Go.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like there's nothing, so it's just filling. It's time. Nobody super chatted. No super chats today. Don't worry about it. But if you say, hey, I was going to super chat today, I had a bunch of different things I wanted to say, that would have cost you money. And of course, you could use that money for a Kind of Funny membership or the new Visual Triangle merch. The merch drop is here. The year is 2024. We no longer have to choose between frame rate, resolution, and quality. Take full control of the Visual Triangle right now at kindoffunny.com/store on sale for a limited time.
CRT filter right there. I love that.
I know, right? Of course, go over there. It's the newest drop. Andy's Visual Triangle has been realized in both a hoodie, a hat, a t-shirt, a knit cap. Like so you got a ball cap and then you got a knit cap. Is that what you call it? A beanie?
A beanie and a baseball hat, yeah.
All right, cool. And then you got a long sleeve tee.
A lot of talk about my
Winter.
big head. I don't think it's that big, y'all.
That was like a perfect. Well, I see what they're saying. I think your head looks perfectly normal, but I see what they're saying. It's a little bit. You're jutting it out a bit.
Yeah, I think
The
it's the
perspective.
fisheye lens. You know, Nick notorious with the fisheye lens.
He loves that. He
he's
likes
just looking-
everything's got to look like a Sum 41 music video
Every
for him. You know
time.
what I mean?
Every
I
time.
hate it. Of course, like I said, we are a little business all about live talk shows. You already got the biggest stories in video games on Kind of Funny Games Daily with guest host Isla from Easy Allies.
Oh.
Unless for some reason that didn't happen, which it's a gamble.
rolling the dice.
Here's the other gamble. The stream after this is going to be windblown. Will it still be? You never know with the Jabroni Boys.
Never know.
Anything could happen, but it's supposed to be windblown, and I'm excited to see that one in action. If you're a Kind of Funny member, of course, there is a Greg Way Up. What's it about? Who knows? I do it on the way to work, and I didn't do them yet. You know what I mean? This is the thing. You couldn't fake all this. You couldn't fake all this.
You couldn't fake it. You couldn't fake it.
Thank you to our Patreon. There's no way I could possibly pick a Greg way ahead of time.
There's no way that you could think of someone to talk about right now.
Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs and Delaney Twanny. Today, we're brought to you by Sonic at Topgolf, Marvel Snap, and Shady Rays, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, we begin the show with what is and forever will be topic of the show. The topic of the show, Lego Horizon Adventures Review. Better known as just Lego Horizon. It's time to review this here game. Of course, the developer Guerrilla Games and Studio Gobo. It is out on the 14th. That's tomorrow. And your Steam description reads... Join Machine Hunter Aloy as she leads a colorful crew of heroes on a quest to save the world and learn the secrets of her past. Dive into boundless adventure, customized to your heart's content, and take on action-packed battles solo or with friends. Of course, we have been talking about Lego Horizon Adventures for quite some time. You know, Horizon, but on the PC, on the Switch. Yeah. It's everywhere. Well, those three and PlayStation. Yeah. Those three places. You know what I mean? Roger.
Hi.
Joey.
Yes.
You've both beaten this game.
We have.
Interesting.
Separately, not together.
No.
That would make too much sense for the
No.
co-op game. Why would you play it together? You know what I mean? Why would you possibly
I don't think we ever
that?
thought about that either.
No. Instantly, I was like, can I get 2 codes?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Joey, I know you previewed this for us.
I did preview
at
this.
length, and I appreciate that
did.
about you. So I want to save you for last, but I do want to know, how long did it take you to beat?
It was somewhere between 7 and 9 hours. Can we talk about the PlayStation game clock being supremely broken?
Yeah, it's
It said that I'd
questionable
played
at
for
best.
4 hours, and then Lauren said I think 9. So we're like, I don't know, we'll split the difference and call it 7, I guess. 6.
Okay,
Who
so did you
knows?
play co-op the whole way through with Lauren?
The whole way through? Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, and then top level questions. You'll have to answer these too. Are you done with it?
Yeah.
But I mean, did you do everything in it, or are you just done with it?
I did we finished the campaign, and then the side stuff, I did one of them just to see what it was, because it's the same. Essentially, it's the same thing. You're just fighting different bosses.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, well, now I know what this is, and I don't really have any interest in going back.
Okay. Roger,
Hi.
you've beaten the game.
Yes, I have.
How long did it take you?
Again, with the clock, I have no idea, because the clock was 1 hour after 4 play sessions, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening here. So I'm assuming it's about 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
You played it alone?
No, I played it with Leanza the entire time. my partner.
Okay,
So that was a fun. I was looking forward to this game because her and I don't really have that co-op game that we can go into. We try to do one every year, kind of have the full-on playthrough of one of these games. So this was the
Have
the
Joey
chosen
and
one.
I told you about Diablo 4?
That is an interesting one. I think Leanne's a little too scared of it. I think she's like, this looks too hardcore. It's called Diablo. There's a 4 in the title. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on there.
What
But this-
about Minecraft Dungeons?
Yeah, but that's Minecraft. You know what I mean? She don't like Minecraft like that. She
But
but
it's
like
so
Lego.
cute.
She's a hater.
She likes Lego.
Okay.
She likes Lego. Lego.
Okay,
We need
so
Lego Dungeons, apparently.
Yeah, we
then
do.
kick me off then, Raj, on the kind of funny review scale. What would you give Lego Horizon Adventures?
I'm sorry to say, Greg, I'm giving this game a 5 out of 10.
Oh, mediocre.
Yeah, this is definitely a mediocre game. It's a mediocre Lego game, first and foremost,
Ooh,
right?
okay.
The
Now,
big-
worth pointing out, I always like, as somebody who reviewed a dozen Lego games, this is not TT Games. This is not formerly Traveler's
Absolutely.
Tales that became TT Games. The people you think of when you think, oh, it's a Lego game. That's not them. This is Guerrilla and Gobo.
Yes, this is absolutely a new take on, or a new take, quote unquote, on the Lego types of video games. Because of course, TT Games, which I didn't know they dropped the Traveler's Tales, by the way. I thought it was just I didn't. That's cool.
I mean, I'm talking about
Wow.
Well, I know it was at IGN. They dropped Traveler's Tales. And
So TT Games, of course, they're to me like the goats, right? They created the games that were my childhood. I mean, Lego Star Wars, Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, whatever. Any of them that had the Lego title, I was buying, right?
Yeah.
But I totally understand, especially after playing and reviewing Lego Skywalker Saga. That game has really soured over the years for me because it is just that formula. They've tried to innovate on it, but that formula is just, it's old, right? It's an older formula. I wanted something new. So I was interested in what Lego Horizon Adventures was going to bring to the table. And sadly, what they bring to the table is a lot of them ignoring the good things that TT had, right? TT Games created a good formula and a good basis for what Lego games could be. And of course, there's a lot of ways that they can improve on it. But instead, Lego Horizon Adventures seems like they're like, we're going to do our own thing and we're just going to pretend that those things didn't exist.
We're starting from scratch and we're not learning any of the lessons, positive or negative.
Exactly. So, I mean, the gameplay is extremely linear, right? Like there's very little room for exploration. I was very surprised by the ending of some levels where it's like, oh, you didn't get everything. So I'm like, what? I feel like how did
I possibly miss anything?
Yeah, it is so cookie cutter. It almost feels, in a weird way, like a mobile game, or almost even like a port of a console game, right? Like it feels like it is there's another Lego Horizons game out there that is like the real
This
version.
feels like the one on the DS.
Yes, exactly. That's what this feels like to me, because I can go right now and close my eyes and explain to you the exact mission structure for this entire video game, every single level, copy and paste, with the halfway point that has 3 different chests that you go to. Like, you know exactly what you're doing all the time, and the gameplay itself, the combat itself, is just kind of monotonous. Like, I found myself wanting and needing that. Surprisingly, I can't believe I'm saying this about a Lego game, but like the depth that the original Lego games had, right? Where like when the other Lego games, you can go in there and you can change your classes, you can have different types of people, you can build and have puzzles. There's really no puzzles here.
Are you only Aloy this whole time?
No, you are multiple
you're
characters.
4 different characters.
Do they feel different or no?
2 of them
It's
feel
just in their weapons.
Yeah, exactly. 2 of them feel more different. One, Varl.
I was gonna say Varl.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, Varl is just kind of like he's throwing stuff, so he's like Aloy pretty much. But
but I mean, he's one of the characters.
Yes, exactly. I don't know if we can talk about this other characters. I don't want to. I can look into the.
That's fair. Yeah, don't spoil it.
But there's 2 other characters that are a little bit more different. But even then, the gameplay is just, you're just mashing buttons, and they have some of the things like the original Horizon game, which we should say about outset. I did not play any of the Horizon games before, so
I haven't either.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I tried it and I don't like stealthy, sneaky around stuff, so that kind of lost me immediately.
I do. For some reason, it was one of those times where like I got into it late and there was other things happening. I just joined kind of funny and I got the whatever. I will be playing that game.
And I'm bummed because cool robot dinosaurs is like a Joey thing, and I'm like bummed that I don't like it, but maybe I'll give it another shot.
Yeah. So I was excited about this, and I wanted to at least understand like the basis of the story.
Because this is a retelling of the original story. Yeah.
But from everything I'm gathering from here, it feels like they have just made up characteristics of all the characters. Like, they really focus on some of these, like Aloy loves pickle sandwiches. And like, that's like,
not a real
that,
thing.
like, that's her basis of her entire character.
Was yesterday, Roger asking Blessing, like, are any of these things in the real Horizon game, and seeing like where Bless could like get you?
Yeah, because
you asked her at one point, it's like, is she really into sandwiches? And Bless was like, oh yeah, that's what
because it's sorry, I don't mean to burn too much of the review, but like I just want to get out there really quick, because it's so interesting, because right after I finished this game, I was like, I had such a bad taste in my mouth, because it's not a bad game. I'm sure kids are going to love it. I'm sure that, families are going to have a great time playing it with their kids, but
it's disappointing.
It's a disappointing game, and it's also like, we have so many better Lego games. So I booted up Lego The Complete Saga, which is the one from the 360 PS3 era that was a compilation of the original 2 games on the PS2 era.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. And I had a great time with it, but the cool thing about it is the way that they characterize those characters, right? Inside the Lego story, right? Where it's like Obi-Wan, his whole thing is that he's not in episode 1 in Phantom Menace, he is not good at being a Jedi, right? Like, and like, that's where the humor comes from. The humor here is based on things that are not from the game, right? Like, it's not from the actual story of Horizon.
They're using that Horizon as a backdrop to
for
then
just
put in their own story.
Completely different thing, right? It's like, okay, like this character, his whole thing, all I know about one of these characters is that they love donuts. That's it. Like, I don't have any.
That's accurate, though.
Yeah. So, and I know that this is coming off extremely negative, because it is about a kid's game, but I think we have the basis for really, really amazing.
I don't
Lego
think we
games.
can call it a kid's game at this
Joey,
point.
I'd want to pivot to you, because you and me loved the old Lego games as adults playing through them. And obviously for me, with the Marvel ones or the DC ones, it was always
Lego
like,
Dimensions.
Man. Yeah. Oh, don't get me started. Dimensions, right? But it was like, yeah, these are kid games, but I can find so much enjoyment out of the IP I love, or the characters I love, or whatever.
Yeah.
Not happening here.
Yeah, this totally missed the mark for me.
What's your score?
Mine's also a 5, which is so funny, because we came to that decision separately, but I'm glad that we're aligned on it. It feels really bare bones, and anytime that there's anything extra, it was like, oh, we're adding this just to pad it, but it doesn't actually, it's not additive to the experience at all.
Gotcha.
The open world, or not the open world, the map when you first do it has like 3 different areas plus your home base area. And there's different like plots of land and like little different like upgrade things you can do. And you're just like walking through this whole land for essentially the entire game, being like, oh, I need 60 gold bricks for this. I need 50 gold bricks for this. I need all of these things. So you're just like walking through and you're like, I can't really actually do anything. So it's like, well, what's the point of doing any of this if like you just have to, it's like they're just teasing you with like, oh, things you can do. And then when you do unlock them, it's like, I don't know, do I need a Ferris wheel here? Like, what the fuck does this have to do with Horizon? All of like the things that you can add to your like home base area, it's all Lego Ninjago or a guy dressed as a hot dog. Like, there's definitely a Horizon section, but it's also like, why do we have all of these other random Lego properties in here that aren't video games, don't match at all? And it's like, I guess so. It's you can play as a bunny rabbit and like a penguin. But I'm just like, this is a weird mismatch of, not even IP, because they're just kind of like blanket characters.
I haven't been craving a new Lego game. I feel like I've had my fill personally, and that even happened with Supervillains, where I never even rolled credits on that. Where I was like, I'm good. It was great.
I loved Supervillains.
It was a great game, but I was like,
favorite.
I don't feel like the collectathon thing.
Yeah.
So on top of that, then Horizon being like an IP I do enjoy, but not that I'm like, I want to go I've been like at arm's length with this game to begin with. And every time they've shown that area, and it is the hot dog man, it is the Ferris wheel, I'm always like, but why? Why would I do this? And what is it going to
They don't give you any answer.
And it's fascinating that, again, for this to be in the shadow of Astrobot.
Yeah.
Not to have it be, hey, we did a bunch of Lego PlayStation stuff here, and you can go through and get a Joel and an Ellie and a thing and build off, Infamous and Sly Cooper.
Yeah. Even gameplay wise, I feel like each level is like the exact same format, which like, as a Lego game fan, like that is kind of what we're used to, but there's just no depth to any of it.
Sure.
I think it's crazy how much of the landscape stuff isn't breakable. Because we're so used to going in, you destroy everything,
Smash, get the
you get the
studs,
stud multiplier, all that kind of stuff. Like, it is like very little stuff that's buildable, or that's breakable in this.
And buildable.
and like some of like the fun secret things when you go down the wrong path are these like little huts and stuff that you build, but like they don't do anything.
Yeah, you're just like in the other Lego games.
It's just a thing to check off that you've done, but like it doesn't even really pour out studs.
Yeah,
maybe like a little bit.
It's kind of wild playing, like, again, last night, booting up. Of course, I have nostalgia glasses because that's one of my favorite games of all time, the Lego Star Wars Complete Saga. But booting it up and being like, oh, even when I'm like bored of the gameplay because it is simplistic, I could just start breaking everything in this whole place. You are not doing that whatsoever. Even things that you look at like, oh, I'm sure this is going to be breakable. You smash it. It's a tree. It's a small little tree. But nothing. There's nothing going on. And even like the studs, they treat the studs like very conservatively when it comes to like actually giving them out, to the point where they have like these little crates, these little treasure boxes, and they just have like 500 studs in them, and like that's the thing. There's no mini kit.
What are you spending them on? What are you doing with them? Okay.
So it's either skins for your characters, or it's those like upgrade to unlock the like, I can now put a donut shop or a vet hospital on this plot of land, which is like it might not be a vet hospital, but it's a giant ass doghouse on my land, and you're like, why?
Yeah,
it doesn't make any real sense to me.
It's like customization for customization's sake. Right?
Okay.
And by customization, it's just these little pre-prepared areas that are just like, oh, put this thing here, put this there. Like there's nothing that's exciting or creative. That's what I look forward to. I look forward to the Lego aspect in video games, right? Like, how are they going to get creative? How maybe I can mix these two Lego pieces and put them together. No, you're just putting just a little minifig in that little area. Cool. All right. They really want me to do it, apparently, because there's not really much else going on in the game. So they make sure, hey, really, like every time I'm walking past it, I felt bad. I'm like, okay, let me look into it. What is this thing? It's just like, yeah, you're right. Ferris wheel. Okay.
I have devastating news for you, Greg, about this game too.
Oh no.
If you play 2-player remote, which is how Lauren and I played, she played as my player 2, hopped into my game. She got no trophies, no progression.
Nightmare stuff.
So,
and I remember bitching so long at the TT Games people about this for Lego, and it was such a big deal when PS4 version dropped, or PS4 dropped, and they had the Lego game, and it was that you could dual sign in and both get trophies. I remember being amazed. The fact that we're stepping backwards into that, but she's not signing in, right? That's the deal.
No, well, she's playing remotely from her PS5 on her copy, so she is signed in.
It's even worse. It's even worse. Yeah. Wow, that.
And not to mention that after, because we played this in 2 sessions. After the first night, she went in to start her game, and she had to start from the beginning. Like, no cross progression.
That's really dumb.
Yeah.
Really, 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 really dumb.
A couple other things that I didn't love about this.
Wait, hold on. Before you get there, because I have questions still.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
But before then, I want to remind people, of course, we are a small independent business, and we couldn't do this without your support. If you like this show or any of the other shows we do each and every day, that's right, live talk shows all day long. Pick up the Kinda Funny membership over on patreon.com/kindafunny or youtube.com/kindafunnygames. You can toss us $10 and get good karma, get all of our shows ad-free, get the ability to watch the afternoon podcast live as we record it, and of course, get your daily dose of me, Greg Miller, in a series we call Greg Way. But you're not using your benefits right now, so here's a word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by Sonic the Hedgehog at Topgolf. Y'all, when you take one good thing and you take another good thing and you mash them together, that is when magic happens. Kinda Funny loves Sonic the Hedgehog. Kinda Funny loves Topgolf. So you know Kinda Funny is hyped for Sonic the Hedgehog and friends to arrive at Topgolf at supersonic speed on Friday, November 15th with the launch of the new Topgolf game, Sonic the Hedgehog, exclusively available for play at Topgolf venues across the United States. Created for players of all skill levels, which is great for me, Topgolf meets the fast-paced action of Sonic in this new in-venue game where players go head-to-head in iconic virtual Sonic environments, Green Hill Zone and Sky Sanctuary. You can play as 4 iconic characters, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, to hit springs, collect rings, and destroy badniks. For players making the transition from a joystick to a club for the first time, Topgolf has your back with its new club, the Sure Thing, designed to make golf less hard. Come play around with your friends and family at a Topgolf near you and try out the new Sonic the Hedgehog game. This episode's brought to you by Marvel Snap. Y'all know Marvel Snap completely took over my life when it burst on the scene 2 years ago. I love it so much that I even mentioned Marvel Snap in my wedding vows because to this day, my wife Gia is so obsessed that she has not missed a single day of completing her challenges. Marvel Snap is an award-winning collectible card game that combines deep strategy, a unique snapping mechanic, and your favorite Marvel characters with thousands of unique card art variants created by renowned artists to collect and use. One of my favorite things about Marvel Snap is just how fast-paced it is. Each game only takes about 3 minutes, so it's always a great time to pop in for a game or two. New cards are released every week, new seasons every month, and frequent events keep the game fresh and exciting. Each game takes only 3 minutes, so you can get in and out wherever you are, and with more than 270 cards in Marvel Snap with over 2,000 unique art variants, you'll always find something new. Download the Marvel Snap app now, available on the App Store, Google Play, and Steam, or visit marvelsnap.com to learn more. This episode's brought to you by Shady Rays. Forget the boring gifts this year. Shady Rays makes finding something special for everyone on your list easy. With premium polarized sunglasses that bring both clarity and comfort, you'll be giving a gift that they'll appreciate every time they step outside. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice this holiday season. Every pair of shades also comes with lost or broken protection. If those shades ever disappear or get damaged, Shady Rays will replace them, no questions asked. Shady Rays makes gifting easy with a team ready to help with fast and friendly support. So, give the gift of quality, style, and worry-free wear this season with Shady Rays. Treat yourself or someone special. Go to shadyrays.com and use code KINDAFUNNY for 40% off 2 or more shades. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. shadyrays.com, code KINDAFUNNY.
First off, I should have done this at the top of the show. Provided by PlayStation for review, by the way. This
Yes.
our review copies. I don't think anybody's questioning it when you're giving it 2 5s out of 10, but just a heads up there. Joey, I was going to keep the tiger in the cage.
Okay.
But you unleashed it early there at the
Okay.
very end by bringing up trophies.
There are a lot.
But okay, so this is kind of where I was going, and I know you don't care, but like, are you done with it? Like, are you on the verge of platinuming it? If you wanted to go play it more, would you platinum it? Or is there some
No.
annoying as shit? Like,
I couldn't even see the full trophy list.
oh, because it's not out yet.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, you
I
gotta-
have
you gotta
no
disconnect
idea.
from the
I felt like
internet,
I was popping trophies like fairly often.
Because I'm looking at, Power Picks has it up.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, how annoying would it be to obtain 75 decorations?
Oh, it's
Well, because in order to get the
obtained. You have to pay for
decorations,
them.
you have to pay for them and you need studs, and then also you need gold bricks to unlock the plots.
Collect
them
50
down.
gold bricks.
I think I'm
Discover-
at 40,
Okay.
so that's not terrible.
You could probably put platinum it.
How
Yeah, it
many-
was-
I mean,
they-
I'm not going to. Like,
How many
even,
red brick things are there, or is there anything?
Control F red. I don't see anything about red bricks on this list.
Good. I'm sure that's gonna be a trophy though, doing all those.
Yeah.
Doing all the side stuff. Because that was the fun that I had in the game was when there was any boss battles. There was like a very small amount of boss battles in this game, surprisingly. Like you would expect.
Really? For all the monsters?
Well, at least like one that has like the big bar
Like
at the top.
health
Like,
bar, yeah.
This is the big deal. Like, yeah, there was the first one was
2?
maybe 2, maybe 3.
I think there's a mid one and an end one.
Yeah, it's that was the most fun I had in the game because it was a little bit more strategic. I was playing on normal mode, but most of it was just mindless until those moments because I had to be like, hey, you go over here, you go over there. I'm just disappointed with like the Horizon aspect, at least for me, when it comes to combat, is like stealth. Like I'm interested in that, and like stealth is such a non-factor in this game. I feel like I don't know how about you.
Good for Joey.
I just was not.
Well, it's like it's a factor in the game in that it exists. It just doesn't work, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because like you drop down into the
Star Wars Outlaws problem.
into the arena, you're in the tall grass, you have like Lego tall grass on your back and it's cute. But then it kind of immediately feels like what do they call them? Dinosaurs?
The robots?
Yeah, the robots.
I don't know if they have like a lore name or
I'm
whatever.
I'm sure they do. I mean, what, the Thunder Jaw? I can give you the actual the
I
watcher.
just meant like the general.
Yeah,
term,
I
but-
don't remember off the top of my head right now. The machines. I think they just call them the machines.
Machines, yeah. It doesn't seem like going into
Jana
the grass
Garcia
really
screaming at her desk right now listening to this.
It doesn't really provide you much cover. I feel
Okay.
like it doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, and I feel like once you pop out, like you're done. Like there's no way
Yeah.
you're coming back from that. So
I did not attempt to play stealthy at all in this. I'm so interested that you liked the big boss battles because I feel like that's where I had the most gameplay issues. So I played with Lauren. I was playing as Aloy. She was playing as somebody with like a giant hammer thing. You can tell I really
likes
dug
donuts.
into the story
He
on
loves
this one.
donuts.
So because I was player 1 and I was Aloy, I had the bow and arrow, so I was a lot more ranged. She was hammer, so she needed to be up close. Because there's no split screen, she kept getting tethered back to me. And it's super, super annoying. These arenas are not that big, and the fact that you don't have a tether long enough for you guys to be on either side of it
Oh, wow.
is
That sucks.
really,
Yeah,
really bad.
talk about not learning lessons from TT Games, who
Yeah,
created
yeah,
the
yeah.
greatest split screen, in my opinion, which is the dynamic split screen, being
Yeah.
able to just walk off and then boom, now you're split screen. There's none of that. There are so many platforming moments where I would fuck up or Leanza would fuck up, mostly her, but like it was one of us was fucking up, and then it would just immediately whoop, right to the beginning, and it just felt like I was in purgatory every single time. It was maddening.
There was some like platform jumping where I would die and then I would go back and then Lauren would be done and she would get tethered. It got to the point where it had been such like a shitty week that like we just laughed and like could not stop laughing because we were like I don't know why we do this. This is why I tweeted or maybe whatever we call blue sky now. I was like me and Lauren's like one singular shared brain cell today trying to do jumping puzzles and it's just the SpongeBob like doing everything thing.
Yeah.
It was real bad.
This is a question I had here on my list of, did your partners enjoy it? Because we're talking about Lauren and Leanza, right? Who, play video games. I'm not insulting them, but like, they don't know what the hell they're doing. But I mean, like, it's not their job. They're not kind of funny employees, like, right? Like, was this a fun activity for you guys as a couple, you guys as friends?
Not really. Every time Lauren and I would talk about something, because I was playing split screen on my PC with like ran my PS5 through it. She would hear my keyboard going. She's like, "Are you taking notes on this?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, maybe I don't ever want to review games. Maybe this is a lot more hard work." And she was like, "Yeah." Like Lauren will pretty much play anything with me, which is why she's such a good friend. And so she's like always down to clown, but she was like, "Oh, this is like not great." But it was nice to have somebody for player 2 to see how everything worked, because I think a lot of my issues would have been, my focus for my issues would have been different if I had played solo.
Yeah, absolutely. Similar situation with Leanza and I. We were both very excited about this. We were, I think, but when the time, she wants me to play the Alan Wake 2 DLC with her, and I just keep on pushing it off for some reason.
Why?
Because I'm like, I got to review this game. I got to review Lego Horizons. I got to do it. But then when we got into it, she was having a good time for the first hour, and then by the ending of it, man, oh my gosh, I was.
How many play sessions did you guys do?
Three, three. It wasn't too bad, but still, like by it was Sunday night, and I was falling asleep on the couch, and like we're playing a split screen. So then I would fall asleep. I'm like, "Oh, what's going on?" And she's like, "I got you. I'm carrying you. Don't you worry." Like she's like trying to get us through this. Like we're both like handing off the controller essentially, because like one would just be disinterested, one would fall asleep.
Yeah.
It was a disaster.
Horrible.
So yeah, no, it was not a good time.
Barrett, can you pull up the picture that I brought up in assets? another just small thing with the UI that I have an issue with. So every time essentially you come back to the home base, you get all of these notifications with the green and the star.
Yeah.
And you get multiple of them, I feel like, every time you come back because you unlock stuff with every level.
Okay.
And they cover this menu because they load in one by one, and they cover this for so long. And it's like, there was nowhere else that we could have like put this so that it didn't, because then we're like trying to figure out like what are the things that we unlock, how much do they cost, all this stuff, and it's just annoying.
Yeah.
Which is not great.
Yeah, there's just a lot
Thank you, Barrett.
there's a lot of things. There's a lot of little small things like that are just not polished. Like even when it comes to the co-op situation, every level you start off, this is so stupid and small, but like it affects it because it happens every single time. You load into a level and they have like a base area in the beginning of the level where you can choose who you want to play as, right? So, and then if one of your players gets to like the end of the level where the loading screen is to load into the actual real level, it would take the other character and like transport them and have a whole animation to that loading screen, and then there would be a beat, and then it would load into the level. And it's like those little areas are just like, why don't you just load into the level? Why do we have to have a whole animation of bringing my co-op character to the area? Like,
I think there was maybe 2 or 3 times out of like, because every like almost quarter of a level that happens, where I didn't get the animation because we happened to be walking at the right pace. But that happened for me like almost every time.
Every single time for me.
Damn.
Yeah. It's frustrating because I again booted into an actual real like TT Lego game after this, and I was like, man, like they had so many little lessons that could have came into play here, but it just seems like they were like, no, we gotta do our own thing. We gotta make this its own thing. And I wish that either TT developed this or they had them as consultants during this, because I think that would have went a long way. Just the little things, to be able to break things would have helped so much throughout this game.
Did you feel like you guys were stunning each other with your weapons?
Oh yeah, we were
constantly.
So that's the thing is for the audio listeners over here, this is not a traditional Lego game in the sense that it's like a third person type deal. Like it's more like top down is the way you describe it, or how would you describe this?
I don't know game terms like that well enough to describe it.
It's more of like not Diablo, but it's like
it's isometric.
Isometric. Yeah. So it's an isometric game. So every time I'm playing, we're in like a big heated battle. Every single time by the end of this game, I just could not figure out who I was. Like, I would just be like, I would think that I'm her for a little bit, and we're playing as different characters, very clearly different characters visually, but there's so much going on, and that little blue circle that's supposed to represent me is just so small and blends in. Even you can see it there, blends in with the environment so easily that when there's so much going on, it's tough to figure out who you're playing as, where you are. I would stun Leanza constantly. She would stun me.
I would be same voice lines over and over.
I would be throwing shit, and then
team.
I accidentally hit her. And it's like we're just constantly going back and forth, and it's tough to figure out what's going on and with the action of it all and kind of decipher it.
Did you have any bugs?
No, nothing crazy. I had like one visual bug at the very ending where like a character was supposed to be dancing on Lance Reddick's DJ party that he was playing. I don't know the character, but like Silence. Yeah, he's a DJ in this one. It's a big deal. And there's like a character that's supposed to be dancing. They were just vibrating real fast. So that was the only thing.
Okay, yeah, we had some gameplay bugs for sure. We had like one of the level bosses just like fully not spawn. So we're just like, well, I guess we just walk to the end. I guess that's fun. And then we had a couple of bugs with rezzing where Lauren would res me. It was only in that like end boss battle where like you have your little ghost and she would res you and you like go into the sky and then you pop back down and like she would res me and I just got stuck in the sky and never came back down.
That sucks.
I think at this point my question is, are there bright spots to it? Like you talked about, it's not a bad game. It's a mediocre game. So like, we are bagging on all the reasons it is not living up to the Lego video game moniker, right? Yeah. But was there enjoyable stuff?
Yeah, I again, the first few hours when I'm not playing it for review and I'm not like, oh my gosh, like this is repetitive and I think if this was broken up over a month, playing it with my kid or playing it with just a friend or whatever, I think this would be totally fine. But playing it in like looking at this as a Lego game with all of the baggage that it has and being able to be like, hey, there's clearly other better Lego games. This is a totally serviceable video game. Like there's nothing wrong with this, nothing I'm mad at necessarily. I'm just annoyed at, some of the design decisions and how repetitive it all feels. But at the end of the day, it's still very pretty. The story is funny. Like the story is like
the voice acting's really good.
Yeah, like Ashley Birch is doing a great job, and I was very surprised by how much of the returning cast there is in this. Like, I mean, I from what I can see, it seems like most of the people are returning.
Yeah,
it's kind of incredible how different their voice acting is comparatively to the original game, and how good they're doing at it. Like it's a funny game. It's very meta. That's the thing that I would describe about this story that is different than the other TT games. Is that the other TT games kind of make fun within the universe of whatever the game is. Yeah. This one is more of like, hey, we're just making meta jokes about video games and like kind of like, oh, this is a video game. Oh, I'm a narrator, but I also died or whatever it is. Like there's some meta stuff there. So I think that was funny to me as an adult. I don't know if it would hit for a kid, like meta humor like that, but that's the bright spot. The graphics are great. And yeah, some of the gameplay, if you just want to turn your brain off and just fully just mash buttons, like I think it's totally whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, I think in a non-review scenario, if Lauren and I would have played over like a couple nights, we'd been like, oh, that was the thing we did.
Yeah, but for $60,
that's the most egregious thing I think is that it's like a full $60 title, and I think that if you're looking for another Lego game, you should just play one that is maybe already out.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that this is worth like the full price tag.
Yeah, and I'm just a little bit like interested into the choice behind this specific franchise. I know we kind of all are. We've talked about this to death, but like I think about it, I'm like, man, like an Uncharted Lego game would have been sick. Like even a God of War, I can see like being really good. It's just a weird mismatch because it feels like they're almost, hey, we have the IP and this is like the most tea-friendly game that we have. Let's try to make this into a Lego game, but we don't really have the stuff in order to make the story make sense or like the universe feel exciting with the customization. So let's put Lego Ninjago in it now. Like it feels like this was like a boardroom decision that then had to be like, okay, well, how do we make this happen? How do we make this work? And it resulted in this. So I'm interested to see. I think this game's going to do well. I don't know. Yeah. I'm like bullish in the idea that Lego plus the time that it's coming out around Black Friday, I think this game is going to do pretty well. I wonder if this is going to continue down PlayStation's lineage. Are they going to make a Lego Horizons 2, or are they just going to be like, hey, now we can do this with everything. Now we can just start making, I don't know, ghosts into a Lego game. Like I wonder if this is the beginning of something, or this is just a one-off experiment, right?
Great question.
I feel like I'm inclined to believe it's like a one-off thing, but I obviously could be wrong about that.
I mean, it really comes down, I think, to how successful it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really, critics are not going to care. I think in the end, it's going to be the sales, and of course, being on PC and being on Switch, we should have clarified. You both played on PlayStation 5, yes? Yeah. So like, there could be juice there in terms of it and switching that, but I mean, PlayStation is in need of hits, right, and games and stuff like that. So if it middles in sales, I don't think you'd see another one.
Yeah. I think the most disappointing thing to me is that the potential, because these machines are so easy to translate in Lego form.
Yeah.
Just didn't really do anything. Essentially for combat, they have like these gold parts that you just target for it. But anytime you beat a machine, it immediately goes into a cutscene. There's no like fun Lego-y animation where like it all
exploding.
It like kind of breaks apart into pieces, but I didn't find it like particularly satisfying. And there's no, because you like harvest things out of it's hard to like talk about this game not really knowing what Real Horizon is, but you like harvest parts out of these things.
What you do in Real Horizon,
which you don't even really do in this. Like there's no like gameplay. It's all in cutscenes.
Okay,
and it's just like, oh, well, it'd be more fun if like I could do something with all these parts or whatever.
Sure.
Like even if it is like the mini kits or whatever, where you're just like going to a thing and building it in Shadow or whatever. Like
so no really mini kits, no assembly, no like back at home base. Here's a Thunderjaw I made or something like that.
No. There's again the stuff that you're finding in the world, which I was very excited about when I first broke something. I was like, oh my God, I can build something. It is just, you're building something random. Like, it's like something
cart.
Yeah, like a random cart. And it just gives you a few studs. And it's like, oh, this has no, like, there's no I'm building something. Oh, now this is the solution to a puzzle. Oh, this is a zip line.
This turns into a button or a lever.
I built one zip line this entire game, and I felt like that was insane. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you use zip lines to get into every main interaction with bosses or whatever. I felt like that was such an easy slam dunk to be like, oh, you just build the zip line, and then now you go down it. Like, no, they're just all there. It just feels very on rails. So, yeah, it's just kind of weird. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
Dang. What a miss.
What a miss.
All right. Any final thoughts?
Play other Lego games. I mean, like, I mean, we're in this weird place where I was thinking about this yesterday when I was talking to y'all about it. Like, it's been so long from the last TT games to Skywalker Saga, and then now from Skywalker Saga to whatever TT games is going to make next with Lego. So I was excited for like the middle ground of like something else. So I do hope if there's a sequel, they learn from this. Like, I hope that they can maybe actually listen to what TT games did and see kind of the stuff that they did, not have to feel like, oh, we got to make something fully different. But yeah, it's disappointing. But I also know I don't want to table it with this because I stand by all my opinions. But I also know that if you play this with a kid, it's going to be totally fine. Like, but I honestly believe that they deserve more. I grew up with the Lego Star Wars games, and those games are fucking awesome. Like, they stand up to this day. So I think kids deserve more, and not just a 5 out of 10. They deserve something a little bit better.
Yeah, I think that if you're looking for a game to play with your kid or with a partner or a friend or whatever, and you want like the Lego vibe, I think that the other games that are out between Supervillain, Skywalker Saga, all of the Marvel, all of the DC ones, I think that all of those are more compelling. Right? Exactly.
Just let one of them play Astrobot.
Satisfying options. And like, really, that's the takeaway that I have from this is like, man, I want to go back and play like, quote unquote, a real Lego game, which sucks. Like, I don't want to say that. Or like, this is obviously a real Lego game too, but it just feels like pretty half-baked.
I know what you mean. Dang. Well,
no.
There you go.
Maybe Roger and I will be on a Gamescast where we're excited about the games.
You both gave it a 5 out of 10. Mediocre on the kind of funny scale. Remember, everybody, this has been the kind of funny Gamescast. Each and every weekday, we come to you with the biggest topics in video games, whether they be reviews, previews, or just things we need to talk about. If you like that, pick up a kind of funny membership. $10 gets you all the shows ad-free. You support a little local business. And of course, you'd get me, Greg Way, and watch the afternoon podcast. You know how it goes. For now, we're going to sign off. If you're watching live, of course, you're not really live with us, but you know what I mean. It's supposed to be Windblown next. If you're listening or watching later, of course, you can catch that on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Or if you're live Twitch and just stay there, you know the whole thing. It's the same thing every day, every show. You know how it works.
We do the thing.
Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.